always. And we have our famous handsome man that I call. I had to read everything and look at you. Mr. Darnell Moore.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So everybody want to introduce themselves so we can get familiar with each other, or we all know each other?
I mean, I feel like we family now.
Oh, don't take. See, can't sleep with your cousins. Can't sleep with your cousins. So
I'm Mr. Ways. I'm the co-founder of Dare Academy, director of Can Do and Collab, multiple organizations that's trying to bring about social justice in the Camden City and, of course, the country at large. So I'm grateful to be sitting here with the man of the hour, who is the man. I'm
Yes.
grateful for the work you put in
Thank
for
you.
the community at large, for the Black community. And I'm glad I'm here.
Glad I'm here too.
you want to tell your story?
Sure, I'm Darnell from Camden. I am a member of the Dare to Dance family. I also have been in the school district here as an inclusion specialist for 22 years. And Darnell is not just a friend, but family, my brother. So I am so happy to be here with him.
Oh, talk to him nice. Very nice. All right, so tell us a little bit about yourself, or you want me to tell you about you?
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
I get so embarrassed by bios, but happy to be here. I remember this building when it wasn't this, and I'm just grateful for all the work that you all are doing. I've been a fan of yours for so long. And listen, I'm happy to be home. I'm happy to be home. I'm a child of Camden, New Jersey. I am here by way of LA, and just grateful for the full circle moments that I always get to have.
Right.
Excited for the conversation.
You are?
Absolutely.
Oh, because I got something for you.
Oh, sure. Come on.
So I just want you to know we're not going, I watched everything about you. I had to chime in and different things. So we're not going to get into the sad stuff. I didn't like a lot of your bios because some of it was sad. So I was
right
just
off
like,
of it.
and then it just looks like, like your story is great, but I don't like the sad stuff. So we're not going to talk about the
Yeah,
sad stuff.
I actually think that's a good point. Often I don't write a lot of the stuff that people put out in the world about me, right? And I think that when you hear stories about folk from cities like Camden, Black people, people who come from economically distressed places, the media tends to hyper focus on trauma narrative.
Right.
But our narratives are so much more than that, right? We're sitting here and we're all from this place, and we all have smiles on our face. We all have done amazing things in the world, regardless.
Where's
of how
your
big
smile?
or
Oh, okay. I was trying to figure it out.
And there's so much more than that. I mean, the story of Camden, my story isn't just about bad things that happen or violent things or all the stuff that's happening in the world. Like, my story is also my family and the fact that I have a big, Black, loving family that has been at the source of my strength.
How about it?
Anyway, yeah, so I'm here to talk about
I
that.
see- you
I mean, we're
said
here today. Like,
He
we're
was about to
quiet.
praise dance on us real quick. I mean, it's about to get the praising.
We're here today because we're here. Downey and I are hosting a party for our graduating class. I mean, and that's about us just getting together. And the class of '94, shout them out. I ain't seen them in years.
94.
I hope we
okay.
remember everybody.
Yeah.
I'm like,
I know.
we need name tags.
I was like, wait, who is this?
But again, like a
Mhm.
part of that is, so much when we talk about Black people's lives, and this
Right.
is not just my family. I think it's always about the negation. But our lives are so rich, so full.
Right.
Like, we are still here. We are thriving, some of us. And we got joy. Black joy is also radical.
Right.
And it's
Right.
also a possibility.
Right. There you go. Now, see, this is the smile I wanted to see.
Like, joy is an important point in that God energy within always were in that space where we can be empowered and face whatever we face. Although she don't want to talk about the negative, I'm here to talk about the struggle and face the struggle. And yet, they used to call me the happy warrior in prison because I kept my smile. I tried to tap that into that joyful space that come up out of that struggle. So I heard you just say joy is a radical one, or
It's a radical act, a radical tool too. But you need that, right?
Yeah.
We would fool ourselves, we would lie to ourselves if we were not acknowledging all that we are having to combat for the most part every day, right?
Right.
I have family members that are still struggling economically. I have people that have come through substance abuse issues. I've had people in my family who have suffered at the hands of intimate partner violence, or women who just done wrong by the men in their lives, or by the systems, by the welfare state, by the police officers. I mean, I believe that you have to have a healthy balance of you can have joy in the midst of complexity. But if we walked around and act like there's a lot of shit that is not left for us to fix, we would be lying.
That is definitely
And we can't dress up and make pretty problems.
Right.
You understand? I came home and I'm sitting here. I was just I'm downtown. I'm staying at the Hilton downtown, and I was like, "Oh shit, this is nice. This is real dope." And we are severely there's a severe lack of investment in the city still.
Yes.
There's still so much that's missing. Now, because it's missing infrastructurally does not mean that we're missing spiritually. I'm not trying to say that just because we don't have all the things that we lack in spirit. But we, black people in Camden, black people everywhere, we have been an abundant people. And it's time, though, that abundance is matched by material justice. And what I mean by that is like, and I'm not even being poetic. I'm like, it's great. We can be strong, but you can't, we can't be strong, but for so long. At some point, I think there is a need to sort of match all of the strength that Camdenites have had with the actual material consequences of that. Because I'm down there and I'm like, it's great. It looks different. I'm like, okay, this is dope. And where's the spaces for our young people? Why aren't they down here? You understand? Why is this a space when I was living in the Victor building that white folk from other parts of the city can come to, other parts of the state can come to, and feel overwhelmingly protected, not feel surveilled by the police, feel like they can walk around and be okay. And I would be down there. I'm like, first, ain't nothing for me to do. You know what I mean? Like, where's the stuff for us?
Yes.
And so that needs to be matched. Yeah.
I think that's a part of the journey here for us under our mission is to have the internal spiritual energy and character call forward. But to your point, ownership is important in this man. And if we're not owners, we're back to that slave mentality of surrendering and working on their terms. So it's somewhere in there that economic justice, as well as through the law, has to be in front of this program.
Yeah. I mean, and y'all doing it, and self-determination. I'm literally got shit like I was pulling up here, and I remember this building. I remember coming here. It was one of the board. What was the board using this building for? I think. What was it called?
It was a headquarters administrative building for a while.
Yeah.
They did a lot of trainings and professional development here too.
And I remember coming here, but pulling up, like I'm just like, y'all are in here. This is what self-determination looks like.
Yes, we are.
You know what I'm saying? It's not like having a whimsical dream and just talking the good talk, but you have made this a thing.
Yes, sir.
And that is what that looks like.
Right, you got to look around. You got to come.
I'm looking around.
No, I'm talking about the
Yeah,
other
sure.
places.
Oh, this is like, and I want to talk to y'all because I think one of the reasons why I wanted to do this soiree, and we should talk about it, is because I'm like, I've been gone for a minute. I left to go to school in '94, and I did come back. I moved back here. The last place I was here in 2007 still living. I was living downtown. But I was, I sort of like, I'm a prodigal child in that way. My family's always been here, but I've been like, I saw the world and I was like,
You're one of them. You're one of, you always got that spirit where it's just like, you can't
out.
sit down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my heart and my grounding is here. And one of the things that I've recognized as I'm moving throughout the world is I graduated with people who love the hell out of their people. And they are all on their own account doing some amazing things. Even if the world hasn't celebrated them for that. So part of our, this is like our give back to say, we see you. Also, we lost some people too.
Right.
But I'm like, I was surrounded by some dope ass people like this one.
Yes.
So, we come up throughout the years.
Uh-huh.
Oh my gosh. So it's nice to be
home.
To be home. It is
and this isn't even my home. I'm from Mount Holly.
Okay.
Yes, so that's where my area is. So for me, my experience just coming to Camden, I used to have to spend the weekends here and the summers. So it was like I had the good in it, seeing the bad and the bad, everything. But Camden, I didn't understand the history behind Camden until I came here with Mr. Ways. And when I started learning the history, I'm like, damn, Camden is really talented. Like, it's better than Philly. And I'm sorry, but it is. It's better than Philly.
I'm
It's
not witness to that.
it's better than Philly because it has it's so much history in this little city, and it's not big.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of Black history right here sitting on it. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I like Camden.
That's so real. The first book that I wrote was, in many ways, it was hard for a lot of people to read, but it was a love letter to the city. Only because I always say I came up never ever encountering the history, a full history of my hometown in books, in history books. Like, I just was never told about it. And when you are told history, you're giving a sort of master narrative that somebody's telling you what to think about the place you call home without really giving you the real deal. But even now, like, I think about Tasha Smith, who's in Hollywood too, Micheline Davis, who is an amazing painter. If you all don't know her name, who's from Camden, painted Michelle Obama, and like is also out in the world doing amazing things. So I get to sit down and have dinner with, and I sit back and I'm like, we from the same hood,
right?
We are from the same streets.
That's the energy I so want to.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, and I wanted to get all these folk together. There's another young brother, Dexter, who is now in Hollywood on TV, who's from Camden. He wrote me in my inbox just 2 weeks ago, and I was like, oh my God, I saw that you're doing this work in the industry. I just want to say I'm proud. I'm from Camden too. And I get those type of, and the world needs to hear that, right? Like, they need to see that there are those of us who are in the world, those of us who are here, and those of us who are extensions of the city, who are still here, even as we're out there, who represent this space.
Yes, and I've met some great people.
There's a brother, Shawan Barber, that is creating a look. A lot of celebrities is wearing that bulletproof vest. He's the creator.
I need one of them things in LA right now. Speaking of LA, let's call Shawan and give me that bulletproof vest. They are wilding.
Yeah, so he created a look like that. It ain't a bulletproof vest. It's stuff he hold dear to his heart.
Yes.
He said, "This is how I survived the camp.
I love that.
Now, this is the things that are dear to my heart. I carry around." So it took off pretty good, and he's all over the world now, traveling Europe and all that. But I'm saying it because he's from Chase Street. He's born, raised right here, and I just love when my folks go figure it out in the world and then take off. So I think the world needs to do that.
Right. And speak about fashion. I need that shirt that you had on the show, and it was a white shirt. You had a little.
Oh.
It was like ribbit, like some type of ribbit, like it went across. It was black.
Oh gosh, what show is this? Oh, the Trepid Noah.
Yes, and you looked so handsome.
I stole that shirt from somebody. I think I might have borrowed it.
I said, "Oh, I need that shirt. Where do you get that from?"
Oh, but that's the thing too. Like, another thing about fashion is so interesting because folk are like, are you a stylist? And I'm like, nah. I just went to Camden High School. And if you went to Camden High School, like, you are cleaning your sneakers, your white kicks with a toothbrush to keep your K-Swiss fire.
So it's like I want to hate on Wilson either because I went to both. I'm telling you, when you go to Camden High,
it's a thing.
It's a fashion show.
Yeah, period.
And then and I'm like, I didn't learn this. I didn't learn this from Gucci or Balenciaga. I got this
from out of school.
Yeah.
Yes,
I was mad. I got voted most likely to succeed, and I was like, I really want the best dress. Take this shit.
This ain't what I wanted. Like, they tripping. You don't see me? Like, I mean, the fashion show was, but back then we could do it. Now everybody's wearing uniforms, which is black.
Wow.
The kids gotta wear uniforms.
That's
I would feel
true.
some type of way. There's no school shopping. Like,
Oh, we were about that life.
what? You knew right before, like, September, right there.
Remember that?
In a couple of weeks, you'd be like, Mom and Dad's coming in with some money.
And the
We're going
turkey
to
game,
shopping.
getting dressed for the turkey game.
Right.
Like, having to save your money to get that right outfit for the turkey
Right.
game. It was a thing.
Yeah.
It could be cold as hell. You strutting in there.
I was cold in my Nautica sweater.
sweater.
I'm like, I'm wearing this Nautica sweater. I don't care how cold I am. I'm standing there for 30 minutes just so I can see my outfit.
You gotta see this before I put my jacket on.
I was 17. I wore a whole suit with
Exactly, yeah.
Shoot the booty. Oh,
Let me find out you was rocking them
The
cute
whole
zoot
thing.
suits. Zoot suits. It was clean, yeah. But I only see you get clean a couple, your
That was
levels.
that turkey game. That's to the point.
Uh-huh.
Came there right.
And that's why we did it. This was a sort of an homage to that.
And I just
Right.
found out about that.
Yeah. Oh, you
Uncle
missed
Joe
out.
just told me, I just found out yesterday about that morning. I think I talked to him and he told me, yeah, it's this big game, turkey game.
Oh, it
Camden.
was a thing.
I gotta come.
Next year.
So
Oh,
next year
that
I'm
was a
here.
W.
I'm there.
Yeah, we did the party this weekend, sort of as a homage to that. So the theme is denim and leather.
Oh, so you coming in.
Oh, we coming in.
Oh, I gotta
We
fit.
doing wardrobe
yes.
changes and everything.
How long y'all
About to
been
get
like
rid.
this?
Forever.
Y'all too.
Forever. I mean,
Shit, man.
his sister and I, we had a little singing group.
Yes,
I'm
they
talking about
did.
going all the way back prior to
They were like the
Mexico.
SWB of Camden. This
we
was
thought
funny.
like 4 or 5 or something. I don't even know. But I mean, good times. Darnell is just like one of the most humble and dope people out there. You really won't know all his work unless you read about it, because he will never be like, I did this, I did that, and that's what I really respect about him. We
She
look
also
up to
know that
him.
like she party hard, so whenever she want to
Oh, we party.
get all across the country.
He takes me wherever. I'm like, we gonna go party?
We gonna go party?
I know I'm gonna have a good time, but we have a good time together. And about this weekend, we realized that life is short, so we want to celebrate each other while we're here. In turn, we're giving back. So with the soiree, we also raise money for a scholarship for a future Camden High student with hope, with promise, and hopefully we could do it every year. We'll see. But I think it's important for us to give back. We do leave, but we come back. I just moved back to the city. I'm so excited. I am like, this is home. Like, I was in Blackwood for many years. I'm like, yo, I feel home. Like, I like coming out and seeing all the people out. Like, so, but I think it's important. They need advocates. They need mentors. They need
Right.
people just to love on them, because they're our future. They're going to ultimately take care of us. So we need to take care of them. So that's our mission this weekend. And hopefully we can reach more classmates to come back and give back.
Right, that's dope. I like that idea. I never heard of that idea.
Yeah.
So, but tell me what y'all idea of getting dressed tonight, because you always.
Gotta keep that
I got a
fashion
little
show vibe
fit.
at Camden.
I got a little fit.
We've been
I
in
got
a
a little
group chat like, I'm coming out like this. I'm coming out like, should I bring the girls out, or is this gonna be more reserved? Like, can I be me, or do I gotta be like, bring the girls out? Say no more.
That's when you start talking to them like, all right, ladies.
Yeah, they gotta cooperate.
Yeah, you gotta be like, all right, ladies, y'all all right down there? Okay,
Yeah.
we about to put this dress on.
But we wanna have a good
But what you
time.
gonna wear? Because I need to know. Can we get a?
I got some brown suede leather pants
Oh,
and like.
you ain't gotta give it all up because somebody might,
Yeah, they might cop.
Yeah, yeah. We
They
are
ain't
live.
finding that thing.
We're live. We're live in all corners.
They ain't finding that good. They ain't finding that nowhere.
It's mine. It's
I'm
mine.
joking. I'm joking.
That is so funny. So y'all have been together. Can we say over 20 years?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
His mom is
actually-
my mom. My kids call his
And
mom
then we
my
were part
mom.
of like the Prime and
The Prime.
remember the. So we did these extra sort of curricular college prep, academic prep programs that we started in middle school for people that wanted to be like an engineering or math, and we started that in between 6th and 8th grade.
Mhm.
You were at Hatch.
Mhm.
I was at Morgan Village. So since the 90s, since 1990, really.
Wow.
So where did you get that energy from to take on issues for social justice like Black Lives Matter?
Actually, the first time I ever remember doing something that was, I guessed in that way, public. I had a teacher, I always want to say her name, I always remind myself not to do that, who told me I couldn't write when I was in middle school.
Oh, we need to put her out there.
Oh, it's all good. It's all
Because
good.
obviously-
Get out of the system. Now.
But she was also the teacher that was responsible for getting kids' applications to get into Morristown Friends School. And she ran our citywide poetry contest. So I wrote a poem that won at Morgan Village, and then it won the citywide level. And I don't remember what it's about, but I tell people all the time it was the blackest shit I had ever written. It was just like, I don't even know where it came from, but it was like Black Power, Black Power, Black Power. But I think that I was writing in response to her.
Oh, wow.
And Sonia Sanchez, the famed poet, was actually she gave the awards out that day and read, like, so if y'all know Sonia Sanchez, she's like a luminary Black feminist poet, Black radical poet of the Amiri Baraka era. And she was the awardee. I think that would be the first time I say where I found my political voice. I just had a sort of consciousness moment. And that, I always trace it back to that.
So talk about that a little more, just for a second.
Yeah.
Black Lives Matter. And where it's going, what's the goal?
For sure. My involvement began pretty much after Mike Brown was killed. Myself and Patrice Cullors, who is one of the 3 women that have been credited as forming the global network and the movement. Really, we brought 500 people to Ferguson from around the country, around the world, really, in the spirit of organizing with the Ferguson activists. And during that weekend, it was really clear to us that Ferguson is in Missouri, but we all got our Ferguson. Camden is Ferguson, Baltimore. There's a Ferguson, and people wanted to know how they could continue to work when they get back home. And the global network then formed in response to that. People went back and said, well, let's take this back with us to where we're going. And that's how we started the global network. Now, I would say, like any movement iteration over time, that's one part of a long history of Black struggle, right? Like this is not new. Things change, things morph, the times change, the environment changed, but the spirit of it always remains the same. So I think right now there's a lot of people who are really asking us to think about what a future looks like that's Black and liberatory and freedom for us, that's just. Abolitionism is a thing that a lot of people are asking us to think about. What does that mean? It doesn't just mean like the dismantling of police, but it actually means removing the systems and structures that do us harm and imagining into being and building the things that we need that can make us better.
Yes.
So it's not just about getting rid of a jail or getting rid of police. If you don't have that shit, what are you going to do to solve for the needs of your community? What you going to do when a woman on your street is being beat by her husband? Instead of calling the cops, what will you do? And so it's about this part of the work, I think, is about us thinking about what those things are. Right. For a lot of it, it's always us pointing out what the problems are and saying this is what we don't need. But the work is saying, okay, we don't need that, but this is what we need in its place. And that's where I think we are in the work, right? It's in a part of sort of imagining into being the shit that we need for our people.
Listen, I can continue.
You can continue. You was stuck.
So,
yes,
no,
let's
I
go.
really,
you had to
process.
process. I like that. You didn't know what to do.
I didn't want to take the conversation.
Go ahead.
In that social justice place, the reason behind the movement was mostly based on police shootings. Right?
Well, yes and no. So BLM as an idea began before that. So really at Trayvon Martin. Trayvon Martin wasn't killed by police. Trayvon Martin's killed by a white vigilante. Right?
So white supremacy is the issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I would say that white supremacy. I would say that state-sanctioned violence. I would say that any form of violence, material or not.
So how do we get this to the state-sanctioned violence? And because the police is killing with their gun, but they killing with that pin too, right?
Yeah.
I did 15 years for a murder I ain't commit. So they use that pin just as effective in that police violence. So how do we address those issues?
I think that all of those things you can address singularly.
Right.
Policies, the laws that are enacted not just at the federal level, but at the municipal level, which is why like voting and organizing at the city and municipal level is just as important.
Yes.
The judges that we probably don't even vote for or know are being voted in are just as important as the Supreme Court judges, right? Because they actually make a difference in your sentencing.
Yes.
So all of those things are part of the work. I don't think we can see any of these as being not important. I don't think that we can see the policy work as being less important than there's been a way that BLM is always thought about, like the protests on the street, the big shiny stuff that you see on the news, when in fact it's not even that.
Right.
It's the stuff that you're talking about.
work is
Absolutely.
on the ground.
Yeah.
So in that last part on the social justice piece, one of the issues in my thought is we plead out too fast, which makes the system work where they can, continue mass incarceration in the space of making it look like slavery. I think it is slavery, but for the sake of argument. How do we address that plea bargain piece? Because guys and women are pleading to things they didn't do just to get out of the situation, which makes it then easier for the system to continue to oppress black people in that space.
Well, it's work we got to do, not just with plea bargains, but with cash bells. I mean, there are so many areas, right, that needs work, and there are actually groups working on these things. I think we're in the midst, and then again, I don't know if those things are always the things that are focused on within media. But I would say, like, you look at like the movement for Black Lives policy table, which is online. You can find that these are the things they're talking about. They're talking about these incremental, daily, routinized, pedestrian ways of keeping people in sort of lockstep with the state. And people are doing that work to undo that stuff all the time. Not only plea bargains, but DAs. I mean, there's just it's just a lot. There's a whole bunch of things. Right.
Bills because you got to pay court fees.
That's how it
But I
goes,
think,
too.
going back to our sister's point, I mean, in my reflection on like you telling me to smile and joy,
Yes.
I am so appreciative that I'm able to sit across the table from you, that you are freed from both the cage that was the prison and the cage that was whatever the prison is
Right.
trying to keep your mind locked.
Yes, sir.
And I'm honored to be, you said, you're honored. I'm honored to be sitting across from
I'm
you.
honored, but I understand. Yes, sir. I really salute your work.
Thank
because
you.
I'm paying attention. We all paying attention, and the work is necessary. And those that jump out in the field and execute need to be acknowledged.
Thank you so much. I'm acknowledging you too. Thank you.
Look at this here. Tear jerkers and stuff. I told y'all. That was dope. If y'all don't know that was real dope.
Yeah.
Like just the success of two black men, and just shaking each other's hand, embracing that. That's something different. That's what everybody needs to see. Yeah.
And it should be common.
Common,
Agreed.
but you know how people can be nowadays. It's unjuggled.
Yeah.
And I tell everybody I don't like to be on the seesaw, so I just level myself out. Because ain't nothing like being at the top and and then somebody just jump off. What? That is the worst feeling. You don't want to feel it. I felt it once and I just don't
That's
like
fine.
it.
I'm about to jump off the seesaw so I can go get my hair cut because y'all ain't gonna have me sitting up in here looking crazy.
Well, at least we don't have the mics that go right into your
Okay.
beard because I peeped that on your He's like,
really paid attention.
what? I was all over him. And then I just like the little gray, the strip. Job.
Oh,
Netflix.
yeah.
Job.
Oh, yeah.
Netflix.
Yeah.
How did that come about? That's another need.
Yeah, it's pretty. You know what? I actually sometimes sit down and go, how did I end up here? And not that I put a value on the company, but I'm saying like as somebody who was a young boy who had dreams of moving into the entertainment industry without knowing how to get there, and to be on this side as a vice president in an industry where black people in those positions are rare. There are 200 VPs in Netflix globally. I'm one of 20 black people from Camden. I sit there
Dope,
sometimes and I'm just
dope.
like, I can't believe this. I got there. I will say, I mean, I've been working in media and entertainment for several years, decades actually, and I think the value of community is that when you really care about community, you always take your people with you. And I had a brother who I started a business with that went into that company to do some consulting work, who became a VP. And when they needed somebody coming to work on content, he was like, Darnell needs to do this. So that's how I got there, really, is because this brother said,
Wow.
you need to be there. So I'm grateful for the work that I do. I pretty much focus on ensuring that I work and support our content part of the business, studio production, animation, marketing, comms, publicity, and awards. And it's a big part of the work. And my job is to make sure that we are not just talking about equity, that we're not just talking about inclusion, but we're walking the walk. So I get to work with our CEOs and our C-suite and our content execs and push and make. I think we have an opportunity as a newbie in the entertainment world, not just in Hollywood but in the globe, to do what hasn't yet been done, to make sure that the people who have traditionally been underrepresented on screen and off aren't anymore.
Right.
Wow.
So I'm happy about it, and I'm grateful.
There goes a smile. He smiles.
Good work.
Yes, but usually he's just so serious. You're just so serious. I just like
All
how
right,
we're
I got a
talking.
community question, and then I'm gonna fall back because I know y'all want to laugh and shit.
Yeah.
But now I'm a Camdenite so hard. I don't know if it's through the prison energy or what, but I'm just so Camden. I say that often, don't I?
Yes.
All right, all that to say, how do we tie that in? How do we get Camden talent to understand that journey that you just spoke about that was unseen to
Mhm.
us? How do we tie that in for the city?
Well, we got to make sure that they get access to. That's what I was saying too. Like I want to get together like Micheline Thomas and also Micheline Davis, who was one of the former attorney generals of this state. Tasha. I mean, there's so many people who I think, if I saw as a young person, me or Donnie, you, and I saw those as examples, and I didn't often see that, I would have had a sort of model for what was possible. So we have to make us possible and legible, right? Like they got to know that we exist, which is why I don't like Donnie knows this. Wherever I don't care where I am, I'm on a jet around dining tables. They're like, "Where are you from?" Camden, New Jersey.
Camden.
You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But it's like if we don't name ourselves and make ourselves legible, then we fail to exist. So we got to make ourselves legible for the young people coming behind us. That's why it's important to do this interview. It's important for me to be like on a career post because I need my book to be in Barnes and Nobles with my face on it.
Right.
Because I didn't see that when I was coming up, and I need some young person to go, "Oh, this is absolutely possible. I can and will do this because they did it."
Right.
And I never saw that. Nobody ever told me that Melba Moore and people like lived in Camden and like went out and did things. I didn't get access to that information.
Yes.
And information is power.
Yes. Look, it seemed like you closed the show out because that was dope.
Yes, sir.
But we just want to thank you for coming to our building.
Thank you for having me.
We are like overjoyed.
No, I'm honored to be here and look forward to giving in any way I can.
Yes, nothing
Literally
like
mean that,
black
'cause I'm like,
owned.
this is everything.
Black
Right,
owned,
yeah.
black owned, black owned.
Yeah, it's on us.
Yes.
And we got to be cool with that. We stop looking for a savior. It ain't coming. It's on with us.
Yep.
If we get the work done, we'll get what we need.
Absolutely.
Right. So you tell everybody that we here, Dare
I
Academy,
will do that.
at 1656 Kane Avenue. We're gonna put that in your pocket, and we want to just love on you and thank you for being his best friend.
Thank y'all.
That's dope.
Appreciate y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.